Hello friends. So today we are going to discuss distributed tracing. So if you know, welcome to my channel. And here we are discussing high level design. So today's topic is distributed tracing. So first of all, I will share the notes, whatever we will be discussing, and we will have one demo as well. So I already uploaded that demo in GitHub. So I will share that link in description as well. So first of all, let's have some discussion over the distribution tracing. What is distributed tracing? So in monolith system, tracing a request is simple. You have a one log file, one flow. That's it. But in microservices, a single user might touch 20 plus microservices, and debugging what happened where become a nightmare. What it does means we have multiple microservices, right? One, two, three. Suppose something is happened wrong with this, let's say two, right? But as a system, we don't know, right? As a system, we just are playing with one, and it is doing some operation here, it is doing some operation here, but we don't know, right? Where it get failed. So there, this distributed tracing comes into the picture to recognize what happened wrong in which service. So basically, we have two things. The one is trace ID. We'll discuss going forward as well. One is span ID. I'm just giving some high level. So trace ID is common for all the services. Span ID is unique for their particular service. Meaning for one, two, three, trace ID will be same and span ID will be different. One different, for second it will be different, for third service it will be different. So suppose something is wrong with number two, so we'll get the span ID for number two, right? And then we can, using this trace ID, we can get okay, what's going on with that service. Okay, we will discuss again going forward. So let's see what it says. So distributing traces helps you follow the request as it hope across services like directory tracing, right? Where did service request start? Which service did it pass through? Where did latency or error occurs? Right. So we have some live example. You placed an order, front-end app, request go to payment service, kitchen service, delivery service, right? You can track even order confirmed, baking, auto delivery delivered. Like all these are kind of services. If something goes wrong in kitchen, you can pinpoint exactly, right, which step failed, because if baking is done, delivery is not, auto delivery not happen, something is wrong with this. If this is done, this is not happen, something is wrong with this. Okay, so that's exactly what distributed system does for microservices. So why it is needed? Simple, we discussed. For each service log independently, logs are stored in different containers, and a single request might go through API gateway, host service, user service, payment service, notification service. We will give some demo as well, right? So we will have a multiple services, and I will show you, okay, the trace ID is same and span ID is going differently. Suppose something is wrong with the payment, right? Then we're gonna have all the trace IDs up to this login service. That is exactly means something is wrong with payment service because we don't have the ID here. So it says, okay, if user says payment failed, without tracing, you will spend hours of stitching to error loss. Manually distributed is solved by assigning a unique trace to every request, and that ID follows end to end. Okay, how distributed tracing works? Generate trace ID, simple. When a user sends a request, says post request to get request, API gateway creates a trace ID like this. Okay, now propagate the ID. That trace ID is added to HTTP headers. Okay, then each service that handles the request reach the trace ID, add its own span. So this is, so here I was saying add its own span, then we were gonna have one span ID. See the same trace ID downstream. Meaning downstream means say then down. Okay. So collection traces. Each span log is sent asynchronously to trace system. Like so these are our kind of tools where we can see, just like as we usually use the Splunk, right? So to track the IDs, what's going wrong with, right? Visualize the request path. The tracing system using like a timeline waterfall chart. Here, 10 millisecond. Here it spent 40 millisecond. Here it spent 20 millisecond. Here payment service takes too much time. 20 to 50 milliseconds. Navigation service 50 seconds, right? So if we need to trace why it is taking time, right? Or what happened with this payment service, we can trace directly. You can instantly see the payment service cause the slowdown. Okay, okay. So this is again one simple example. Uh, just like as each microservice logic, where is the point goes? Yeah, user click pay now. It went to API gateway, then OAuth payment email. So each service will gonna have same trace ID and different span ID. Okay. Uh, core components. So what are the core components to understand? Trace ID, unique identifier for full request. Span ID, a single operation, right, for a single microservice. Context propagation, passing the trace into info through headers. Agent tracer, collect trace ID locally. Collectors, and Zipkin visualize the endpoint. Okay. So now it just shows okay how the flow works. Okay. So to sum up, again the same thing, right? Service one, service two, service three, right? So trace ID it will create. Suppose this is the API gateway, right? Gateway. Okay. So suppose this is a API gateway. So this will create trace ID. Okay. And then it will transfer to service one. It will work through and create span ID. Then again it will pass the trace ID to this trace ID, and then span ID will create. It will pass the trace ID to next service. If something is wrong here, it will not gonna like create anything. Just like as it will create. Suppose it is taking 100 seconds, right? So by using span ID, we can directly jump into this ID and check, okay, what's going on here? Hmm. Because the thing is, in real world, I am working on 25 microservices, right? Now I don't know which service is down. So what I will do, I will get the trace ID. Okay, I will get the trace ID and search that trace ID in the Splunk or whatever tool we are using, right? So for sure, we're gonna have multiple trace ID because we have 25 microservices, right? And then what I will do, I will get, I will get. So if something is wrong, then I will get span ID and I will use the span ID here in the Splunk, and then exactly I can trace all the logs for this service, right? What's going on with this service directly from Splunk. I'm going to say for kind of middleware system, or I can say for common system, right? Common platform for all the login tracing. Okay, let's see one example right now. Then you will have better idea. So I have two microservices: order service, payment service. And if I show you orders. Okay, it is already opened. So you can see I have created one order controller, and here one constructor injection, right? So I'm just injecting dependency with our using construction injection, and then we have one method. So we are calling this URL. This is our payment service URL, right? And then what we are saying, order fees, see whatever response we are getting from the service. Uh, Let me show you that payment controller as well. So what is this payment? So order controller. So you can see the endpoint was payments, right? So here payments, it will call payments, and by default we have only one get method, so it will call by default. It will done payment successful. So right now we haven't like logged anything. Means say no trace ID, nothing. So we are using micrometer, right, for printing or whatever, handling all these trace ID and span ID. So you can see, so log pattern level, application name, then trace ID, then span ID. The same thing here as well. This is order service. This is a payment service, right? Just you can see the name is order service 8081, payment service is 8082, payment service, right? So I have already started the service, and right now nothing is here. So service are already started. Let me show. So I'm just clicking here, enter. So you can see order placed successfully. Now we can see the logs. So here you can see order service. So this is the order service, trace ID, span ID. Okay. So if I show you here, what it says, application name, trace ID, span ID. Right. So everything is done by dependency itself. We haven't done anything, right? So whatever trace ID we get here, now it jumped to payment service. So if I show you the payment service, so trace ID is same. It starts from 1cc and with 61E, 1cc, 61E. Okay. And payment service, span ID. So this is a span ID for order ID, EC6, 2D7. So here we have something 54. So span ID are different for both services, but trace ID is same, right? So in this way, we can trace exactly, right, what's going on in each service. Okay. So this was a small demo, and like details. What is distributed tracing? And in the interview as well, if someone asks, you can. So usually they ask, okay, what is span ID, what is trace ID, right, and how it works. So I gave you demo as well how it works, and I gave detail the details as well, like theoretical details. So I hope you understand this all the concept and all the distributed concept. In case of any issue, so please let me know. I will just comment it out, right? Then I will give you more highlights, and I want to show you that GitHub as well. So here we have that project which I showed you, distributing tracing demo, and I will place the link in the description. And if you click here HLD, so here we have all the topics whatever we have discussed, right? You can go through all these details here, or you can like go with all the YouTube videos. Distributed tracing, where is yeah, here we go. So so all the details whatever we have discussed, I just put here as well. So I will paste the link in description. So for the timing, if you are new, then subscribe this channel, and because going forward we're gonna have more topics. So all the core topics are done right now, but going forward we're gonna have a complex topic as well. So if you see, so almost core key concepts are done, right? And now going forward we're gonna discuss building blocks. So these are very important, right? So we have a lot of things to discuss, right? So for the time being, I'm closing my video here. If you're new, subscribe my channel, and I will see you again. Thank you so much. and have a good day. Thanks. Bye.